You are watching the RickVanMan channel, and in today's video, Rick is out and about.
Greetings and salutations, this is Rick. I hope you're having a great day. Okay, this is a personal video log and a coverage of the LARP event I'm just about to attend. Now, if you subscribe to my channel for things like the astrophotography videos or the gardening videos or the van build videos, you're probably going to want to miss this video. Don't bother watching this video. It's probably not going to be your cup of tea. This is more of a personal video log, and I'm going to be touching on sort of various things. But if you do want to stick around, I'll see you in a second. So, I am on my way to my very first LARP event. Now, you may have seen the slightly cheesy video that I put up a few weeks ago, or a few videos back, when I first discovered LARP. If you don't know, LARP stands for live action roleplay, and ever since I first discovered it, I've been really kind of keen to sample it and to try it out. And so I managed to sort of scour the internet, try to find out where there are LARP events going on. And apparently there's a really big event called Empire, and I am on my way now, right this moment, to Empire. Like I say, it's about an hour and a half's drive from where I live, and I'm hoping that I can kind of figure out what it's all about and actually get some sort of, you know, proper experience of LARPing, hopefully make some new friends as well, meet some new people. But overall, I'm thinking it's going to be a really interesting weekend. Now, if you've followed my channel in recent years, you'll probably have come to understand that I don't really do big events. I don't do particularly well in crowds. You know, I've got a kind of anxiety thing that just kind of makes life pretty miserable if you try getting involved in things like that. And from what I understand, is Empire is actually a really big event. This is the first time for me in a very long time where my enthusiasm and my excitement to attend a big, busy event actually outweighs the anxiety that normally holds me back from going to such things. So, to be honest, today is kind of a big deal for me. So I'm really hoping it's going to pay off. You know, sometimes in life, if you really want something badly, you just have to go out and get it. And for me, this is one of those times, you know. And I've never been that adventurous as far as doing that kind of thing goes, but I think I found something that I really think I'm going to enjoy, and it's absolutely grabbed my attention. I'm so fascinated by this, and my desire to go and try it out outweighs my anxiety that holds me back. That's got to be a good thing, you know. And so I'm literally saying, to hell with the anxiety, I'm going for it. Now, I have tried to get my head around how it all works. Empire do this thing called Wiki. They've got the Empire Wiki, and it's like Wikipedia, and it's massive. There's loads and loads of reading, and I have spent literally the last 2 weeks reading up on kind of how it all works, and I have to admit, 2 weeks later, I'm still pretty green on all of it. So I kind of decided while I was reading this through this wiki, I thought the only way I'm going to kind of get my head around this is to actually attend an event. So I booked up my ticket. I've got the camping for the 3 nights. It's actually Thursday tonight. I'm going one night early. The gates open at 11 o'clock, which is in an hour's time. It's an hour and a half journey, so hopefully that should work out right. And yeah, I'll see what happens when I get there, but hopefully it's just going to be a brilliant event, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, in regards to the whole in-character, out-of-character thing, there is strictly no filming or no taking photographs on the in-character area. Because of the nature of this thing, there are some people who genuinely do not want other people to know they do it, you know. So, you know, they do not want their photographs taken. And B, it totally breaks immersion. So you know, it can really sort of ruin the whole atmosphere of the place if you're walking around with a, you know, GoPro going, hey guys, I'm fighting knights or orcs or something. It's just not playing cricket, you know. It's not the right thing to do. So the only video footage I'm going to be able to create is in my van, so and my campsite, but hopefully they'll be enthusiastic and very descriptive vlogs. So I'm guessing I'm probably about 40 minutes away now, so I'm just going to get on and enjoy the drive, and I'll have another little chat with you when I get there. Okay, I've now put the awning up. It was an absolute nightmare to put up. It's taken over an hour. It's windy. If you've ever tried putting up an awning on your own in the wind, oh my goodness, what an absolute nightmare. And I'm dripping with sweat now. I'm just so hot and bothered. So I'm just kind of sitting here having a little bit of a rest before I do the rest of the unpacking, and hopefully settle in, get the kettle on, have a cup of tea, and then I might think about having a little wander around and seeing what's what. Now obviously I can't take you with me. Basically the in-character area, from what I understand, starts literally at the entrance, so I'm basically just, you know, I can't take you guys into the in-character area. But although the in-character stuff doesn't actually start till tomorrow afternoon, I think, and no doubt I shall be reporting back periodically as events unfold, and as my knowledge of all of this starts to unfold and I start to figure out what it's all about. Hopefully I can make a note for you guys, but also for myself, so I can refer back to it hopefully at a later date if I need to. So see you shortly. So I'm just sat here enjoying a quick cup of tea and chilling out just before I head off to the tavern a bit later on. And I've just realised I'm actually camping right next to the orc encampment. And that is a phrase I never thought I would use in my lifetime. Okay, I've just got back. It is now 28 minutes past midnight, and just walking back across the top of the field, you could hear this song right across the whole sort of nation. I think most of it was centered in the tavern. So lots and lots of lively stuff still going on, you know, past midnight. And I've had a fantastic evening, really atmospheric. I basically met up with some Daunish folk, because my nationality is Dawn, and I went and wandered over to the Dawn camp earlier and met up with these really nice people, and they invited me along for a wine tasting session sort of this evening. And so I've basically been sat for most of the evening in this big tent with lots and lots of people, the big long kind of bench tables, and the atmosphere was lovely. It was really nice. Lots of lively conversation, lots of tales of battle and heroism and things like that. And I'm basically kind of hanging out. I mean, most of these guys are all sort of noblemen, and it was just you know, within the ranks of the system and this story. And I just had a fantastic evening. But just before I went to this the tent, I actually did go down to the tavern, and I tried some mead, and I really liked it. So I bought a bottle. They're selling it by the bottle, and I bought a bottle. I was going to take it home with me, but unfortunately I got a bit carried away in the tent. I took it back to the tent with me. I did share some of it, but I managed to get through a whole bottle of mead. But overall, really good night. So atmospheric as well. Sat down that big long bench table, you know, sort of hearing everybody's tales and everybody really kindly kind of explaining how it all works. A lot of this world, I mean, this world is vast and so complicated. And a lot of the stuff these guys were telling me, a lot of it was kind of going over my head. It was just so involved. And some of these guys, you know, they know it like the back of their hand. And but anyway, it was just a really wonderful evening. Fantastic people. Really enjoyed hanging out with these guys. I'm so glad I came here. Absolutely. This was a really good night. I mean, it's not every night that you get to experience that kind of an atmosphere that I experienced tonight. Anyway, I'm going to hit the hay, so I will see you in the morning. So I've just got back from the beginners LARPing meeting, and I met up with some of the crew that are running it all, and they basically explained everything. There was about maybe 40 or 50 of us in the room, all newbies, and they basically explained, you know, how everything works. I got given a bunch of information leaflets, which I'm going to go through shortly, and hopefully that'll make me a little bit more wiser to how it all works. Right, it's nearly time. I'm kind of really excited, I must admit. I'm getting this is it's hard to explain, but there's a bit of a culture shock involved, because this is, I mean, just walking around now with probably about a quarter of the people out there already in their garb. It's a little bit surreal, but kind of a good surreal. And there's definitely this element of culture shock, but it's really good, you know, and I cannot wait until I'm kind of walking around there dusk, sort of night time, with all the lights on and everybody in character. I am so sure that it's just going to feel like I've gone back in time. And for me, that just whole feeling like you've gone back in time, you know, you're sort of in another world, that for me sums up why I'm attracted to LARP. You know, it's not so much about the sword fights or anything like that, it's just the whole immersion experience. And so tonight I will find out once and for all whether that immersion experience is as kind of fulfilling and as realistic as I'm really hoping it's going to be. Just sat here having a cup of tea. I'm just about to get ready to put these clothes on. I'm sitting there, there's this little voice in my head saying, Richard, what the f*** are you doing? I was sitting here practicing my Ned persona, my Ned voice, and somebody I met out there today said to me, when you go out there in character, it's like you're in a movie set, you know, you're actually on stage, and basically all the other people around you, they're your audience, but then you're also their audience. And somebody described it as, it's like you're out there telling lies to people who want you to lie to them. And that concept's just sort of hitting home now. It's just about to become a reality. When I step out of here through those gates, alright, it's still an hour away, but I can't be me. I have to be Ned. I have to be this other character. And I'm sort of sitting here thinking, how did I get to this point? How did I get to this moment where all of a sudden I have to sort of step onto this essentially huge stage with loads of other actors and do this thing, you know? Sorry, I'm just having a philosophical funny 5 minutes. Yeah, I just had to have a chuckle to myself. You know, Rick, what are you doing? What, why, how? But I'm still going to go ahead and do it. I just, like I say, I want the challenge. I want the experience. So I'm gonna make it happen. But it's just, I don't know. It's just suddenly started tickling me. The whole the thought, that almost like the ludicrousness of it, but kind of like a cool ludicrousness, if there's such a thing. yeah, anyway, sorry, I thought I'd just make a note of that, because that's how I'm feeling at the moment. Thought I'd have a beer before I step out there. Right, here we go. Hopefully I'll do. Might be able to get some pointers from some of the guys in my nation. But for now this will be warm enough. When it gets cooler later, I've got the cloak. Hopefully I should be able to stay warm enough with this, with all the stuff on underneath. If not, I've got the jacket, but I don't really want to use that till tomorrow because I want to use the jacket with the hoodie, because I haven't got the hoodie shirt on today. I've literally got the normal collared shirt. But anyway, I'm not going to take the cloak with me. I will come back for it when I get chilly, I think, because it's quite heavy. Right, wish me luck. I'm going in. Okay, we're 36 minutes in, and wow, that is different. That is just, it's, oh, how can I explain it? As soon as everybody shouted, there was shouts right across the camp, right, we're all in character. It was just bizarre. All the people walking around, they are different people. And I went to the tent that I normally go to, and there's some big Earls meeting going on there at the moment. So, but there's all these people dressed up in these amazing costumes, and I mean there's some guys they're like half made of wood, you know, they've got like tree sort of lumps of tree growing on them, and there's other people walking around, they've got all these like fish scales on them, and they've all got each of these races have their name. I can't reel off what they are at the moment. I'm still very ignorant to a lot of this, but it was quite, I don't know, it's quite funny. I was sort of like, I'm being introduced to some other people, and you sort of feel like you've got to be on your best behaviour, and I'm sort of like, oh, you know, hello, how do you do? And I was sort of very, very sort of quietly spoken, but it's so strange because people, you can see the people all around you, they're completely like, they are, you know, I met some lady, I can't remember her name, there was like a lady, there was another couple of knights errands that were currently on their quest to do the test of metal, and they were all very very sort of knight-like, but it's really good. It's just, there's, have you heard that big cheer? I think there's stuff going on in Wintermark and sorry, not in Wintermark, in the Navarre camp and in the Orc camp. So I might have a go and have a look at that, but they did say do not go to the Orc camp on your own. You have to have somebody to talk for you. Otherwise there could be trouble and you could like be, you know, attacked or whatever. So I shan't go to the Orc camp on my own. But it's just, how can I put it? It's just, there's no words to describe what's going on out there. You have to experience it. And it's just, it's like being on the stage in a really big play, in a big film. It's just bizarre. There's like, I've got some serious culture shock going on here. So yeah, I've just nipped back to the van, like I say, just to fix my belt, and then I shall step back out there. I'm doing exactly what everybody is said to do. Just wander around and talk to people. Just ask them what their story is, because everybody's eager to tell you what their story is and what their background is. And it's a real icebreaker. It's really good, and it's actually very, very easy. These people are so approachable and so friendly and so willing to talk. It's not an ordeal, you know. It's just it's awesome. The only thing I'm getting at the moment in Dawn, because I'm like around all these kind of noblemen, like, they're quite intimidating, because they're like all these kind of, you know, sort of high-ranking sort of people who know what they're doing and sort of are very sure of themselves. and I'm kind of this mere retainer. It's sort of like you sort of you sort of like I say, I don't have the adequate words to describe it, but it's flipping awesome. I'm really enjoying this. So anyway, I'm gonna fix my belt and I'm gonna get myself back out there, and no doubt I will talk a little bit more about this when I get back. So wish me luck and I'll see you later. 2:48. It's like 10 to 3 in the morning, and we've had a night of singing and all sorts of conversation going on. Really enjoyable, and now I'm absolutely knackered, so I'm gonna head off to bed. Well, good morning. It is the next morning, and I did have rather a lot to drink last night. I polished off 2 bottles of mead. Well, actually that's a lie, it's about a bottle and a half. But I'm actually like clear this morning. That's unbelievable. So I might have just found my the thing I can drink and not regret it in the morning. Although mead is incredibly sweet and it's just no good whatsoever for my ketogenic lifestyle. So this is a bit of a kind of a one-off treat. Yesterday, I'm not quite sure. I don't actually remember what I said last night in last night's video, but it was quite an experience doing the whole role play thing. It was a bit weird when you're sort of chatting to people and they're just kind of normal 1 minute, and then everybody goes into in character, and then all of a sudden you're sort of acting, and it was a bit of a culture shock, if I'm honest. I found it a little bit. What's the word? Not. I don't mean this negatively, but I found it very a little bit jarring. Sort of like suddenly these people are coming up to you and talking to you, and they're clearly like acting, and it's like I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, so I just sort of I kept my kind of lurk and learn sort of policy going, where I just sort of was try to observe more than interact, just so I could learn how to interact. But there's a lot of people that are very sort of sort of up front and all this, and a few people shouting and screaming at each other and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I think my biggest bugbear, well, not bugbear, but my biggest issue was there's so much going on that's being talked about, and you haven't got a clue what they're talking about. I have had several conversations with other like first timers here, and a few people that have been here for like 2 or maybe 3 times. And the sort of the conversation was, well, at what point does it get to the stage where you start to understand what people are talking about? And it's a very common thing, and it does take a little bit of a while for you to actually start to get into it, because this world is so complicated. There's so much going on, and everybody's names are like just like 5 or 6 words long, and you just can't remember them, and they're obscure names. They're not like Jack or Jane or like normal people's names. They're like the Earl of some word that somebody's made up and you've never heard of it. And you kind of expected to remember that, and it's a few times my brain just kind of went to mush. I was like, oh, no, don't know. But it was awesome fun, I must admit. It was just, even though I was a bit sort of like, kind of, I wouldn't say standoffish, but I didn't know what to do in the whole acting thing, and I think that's just going to come with time. But there is another step that I've taken. I was chatting with one guy for quite a lot of the evening, and he was talking me through it and sort of explaining how everything works. And to be honest, the whole medic role for me is not going to work out. Ideally, as a medic, you need to kind of go into the battle, and the battles are miles away. And where I am at the moment with the whole anxiety thing, I'm not that comfortable anymore, about 3 or 4 minutes sort of distance from the van. So even in the field hospital, which is right over the far side, I can get there, but I'm not very comfortable there. So what I needed to do was find a role where I didn't have to venture out too far. I can quite comfortably reach the centre of the camp and where all the shops are and where all the government buildings and everything like that, and I can reach the God tent with no problem. But anything kind of further that way, I'm struggling with it. So I'm going to offer, rather than my skills as a medic, because we've got a lot of medics anyway, I'm going to offer my skills as an artisan, and that means I can create items that the house actually needs. So hopefully I can be a contributing citizen and still kind of, you know, be within my own sort of kind of comfortable area. So that's going to be my plan. I'm going to do that today, although they're going off to battle shortly. They're going to be fighting husks. If you can hear some shouting going on now. I'm kind of missing all this. I'm just about to cook breakfast, but like I say, the battles aren't my thing. So it would be interesting to watch and see sort of how it's all going. But there's another one tomorrow as well, so you know, I'm not going to miss out too much. But I'm just going to cook my breakfast, and I'm going to get on out there and see what's what. Well, good morning. This is Sunday morning, the final day off home later today. And I'm feeling so much better. Yesterday I have never known tiredness like it. It was unbelievable, and I'm pretty sure that was because of the whole it was just such full on for the last, you know, for the previous 2 days, and it just kind of knocked the wind out of me. So anyway, I got a really good night's sleep, and I woke up this morning. It's now about 8:30. In character doesn't kick off till 10 o'clock this morning, so I'm actually in time. I can settle down, have my breakfast. I think I will attend another LARP event, but what I need to do is get a bunch of us together that sort of, I'm going to have to work on my mates and say, come on guys, come and try this out, it's quite cool. And I think my mistake is coming here on my own, especially as kind of like an introverted person with social anxiety issues. It's really difficult, it's really full on trying to have conversations with people and sort of, you know, sort of get to know people and stuff. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, these are really lovely people and they're really, really easy to sort of approach. But as I've probably mentioned before, it's like there's a difference between hanging out with people you know and can relax around, and hanging out with people you don't really know but are quite friendly. There's an energy drain difference that is massive. You know, I could hang about with my mates all day long and not get tired, but when you're trying to constantly make that social effort all the time, it's just, for me, it's very, very energy draining. And like I say, Saturday afternoon I was finished. I was just so knackered. Anyway, so I feel quite refreshed today, so I'm gonna make some breakfast and then we'll see what's what. But so far I've really kind of had a great time. Like I say, I got a little bit sort of, I think I was just tired yesterday, and I was sort of, you know, umming and ahhing, is this sort of thing for me? Like I said, I definitely think this is definitely something that I can enjoy doing, but I think the mistake is doing it on your own. I think it can be quite a lonely experience if you do it on your own, and you're not a bit of a social animal, which I'm not. It's quite difficult and it's quite tiring. But like I say, if you come here with a bunch of mates that you know well, and you kind of have your own little camp and your own little place where you hang out and you can just kind of relax, I think this would be absolutely awesome. So this is a fair warning to all my mates. Yeah, I might be bending your arm over the coming months to see whether I can convince you to come along to something like this, because I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Okay, right, anyway, I'm going to make my breakfast and I will catch up with you a bit later. So, in the truest traditions of the British weather, now the event is pretty much coming to its conclusion. The sun has decided to shine. So never mind, we're British, we're used to this. It's been a really good event, and I'm going to head back down to the area where I've been sort of hanging around, or to the house where I've been hanging around for most of this weekend. I said I'd hold back and help them to pack everything away. They've got an awful lot of gear. It's kind of like almost like a communal tent that they've got there. It's a huge, great thing. Lots of benches, lots of tables, loads and loads of gear. So I said I'd help them to, you know, put everything away. I think it's only fair that these guys have been so kind to me over this weekend. I think it's only fair that I should stay around and help them out So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to kind of hang around and do whatever it is I do between now and the time I get in the van to drive back. And I'll have a little natter, kind of like a little conclusion-y sort of natter on the drive home. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so I am on my way home from my very first LARPing event, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now. I'm having trouble stringing a coherent sentence together. My brain has gone to mush. 3 days solid of trying to get my head around what it's all about, and the culture shock has been like so deep. I really am just kind of been left. Is reeling the right word? I'm just like, I'm sort of still. I need to step away and digest this before I make a kind of a conclusion video, because there's so much to talk about, and right now, like I say, I'm struggling to string a coherent sentence together. So I will record another video when I'm a lot fresher and a lot sort of more switched on and able to articulate the experience better than I can do right now. So until then, thanks for watching, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.